Battle 15, Educational Mario Super Nintendo games versus Educational Sonic Pico games. During the heyday of Mario and Sonic's reign came a variety of games, not just platforming. There were puzzle games, racing games, and yes, even educational games. Today we look at the forgotten games of the two towering video game icons. Games that some played, but games that most people didn't even know existed. For this round, it's the Mario educational games on Super Nintendo versus the Sonic educational games on the Sega Pico. Since both game series feature 16-bit graphics, and both are on Nintendo and Sega's game consoles. And these games all came out around the same time as well. First, let's talk about Sonic's. His educational games on the Pico are a little more interesting because most of us have never even seen a Sega Pico computer game system. The two Sonic games were Sonic's Game World and Tales and the Music Maker. Both have great game box art, very colorful. Like the Pico itself, Sonic's Game World is basically just a simple little game where you can play little simple mini-games. It doesn't really teach anything, but it's still aimed at little kids, so it still fits this rivalry. Interesting, Sonic actually talks in this game.
What shall we play? Yay!
This has to be the first time Sonic has ever spoken in a video game. And later in the video, I'll talk about how there is a Mario educational game that featured the first time Mario spoke in a game as well. Anyway, on to Tails and the Music Maker. Tails was quite a superstar in the early 90s. He had 3 spin-off games of his own during this time, compared to Luigi, which in the 90s, he only had 1. Mario is missing. Anyway, I think Tales and the Music Machine is a little better because of its concept. The game revolving around learning music is a lot more intriguing than just a bunch of bland mini-games that don't mean anything that Sonic's Game World offers. And now to talk about Plumber's games. By comparison, Mario had 5 educational games on Super Nintendo. Mario's Time Machine, Mario is Missing, Mario's Fun with Numbers, Letters, and Mario's Preschool Fun. The last 3 are super simple games that are really meant for 3 and 4-year-olds. They're that simple. The graphics are charming, and there's little things to notice in them that are kinda cool, like one of Bowser's kids of Iggy appearing, for example. It's hard to say which of these games are better for Mario and Sonic, because most of them are extremely boring to an adult. But I guess I'd say the best way to judge them is which ones are more entertaining to see. Which ones make you unintentionally laugh more, which ones have more charm to them, etc. I'd say of the 3 Mario ones I just mentioned, the best by far is Mario's Fun with Numbers, since it actually has a map and you can go to different islands to learn more stuff, other than just math, despite its title. These games could have been awesome. There were ways to make educational games cool and exciting in the 90s, like Math Blasters and Math Munchers on Windows 95. They both still taught math, but they had better music, gadgets, villains, and plots. You know, stuff like that. Why couldn't they have done that with these Mario games? Also, the titles suck. Mario's Fun with Letters, Numbers, and Math? Yuck. Snoozeville. Titles like Math Blasters is way better. Why couldn't the title be called Mario and the Invasion of the Letters? Or something like that. A little story about how the letters are villains, and the only way to defeat them is by spelling words with them. You know, something fun, silly, and amusing that still teaches you how to spell. But no, Nintendo decided to take the lame route. Such a waste. And next we have Mario's Time Machine, which I love. Even though it's boring, it has the best title. And it's pretty cool that you can explore different time periods. It should just be another badass platformer. But, oh well, at least we have it on Super Nintendo, I guess. I don't know why someone hasn't made a fan mod to it and transform it into a platformer, but probably because 90% of Mario fans don't even think about this game. Next is Mario is Missing, a very cool title. The game is actually like a precursor to Luigi's Mansion, since you have to be Luigi and rescue Mario. It's another educational game that has very good graphics, but other than that, it's fairly dull and boring. It isn't bad, just not the exact kind of fun that you're expecting from a classic Mario game on Super Nintendo. So for the winner of this round, I'd say it goes to Mario. Why? Well, it's not like Mario's offerings here are exactly better than Sonic's, but Mario's games here are at least longer in length compared to the two Sonic games on Pico, and they also have better concepts, like time travel, the challenge of Mario getting captured, and that oh no feeling. I mean, at least that's a plot. Sonic's games here don't have any plot, really. So anyway, Mario wins. I'll give Mario 6 points, and I'll give Sonic 4 points. Battle 16! Mario Teaches Typing versus Sonic Schoolhouse. Now, this next round is really interesting. Both Mario and Sonic actually appeared on PC back in the day. Kinda surprising. It was the only thing you'd even see the two of them on another system, since the Windows computers were not in competition with the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. A rare instance in time where both Mario and Sonic appeared on the same computer system, and in the same year too, in 1996. First, let's talk Sonic. Sonic Schoolhouse. It's a really cool game that I actually used to play back in the day. It's got great graphics, and all sorts of weird stuff on the walls, and stuff like that. And Sonic's model here looks awesome looking. It's so good because it sadly was meant to be for a better game, Sonic Extreme on the Sega Saturn. And that sadly got cancelled, so that sprite of Sonic Extreme winded up here. Sonic Schoolhouse kind of feels like Pee-wee's Playhouse here. And it isn't a bad game. Pretty cool. It's also pretty weird to see Sonic watered down here. This is not where you'd expect Sonic to be in the 90s. In a school, Sonic was such a bad boy back then. The blue dude with attitude, scorching through zones, exploding badniks, and being full of himself. Now walks around in a classroom and calmly learns letters and math and crap. I'd expect this from Mario, because Mario has a somewhat lame side to him, but Sonic? No way, dude. But here it is. It happened. And then, on the other hand, we have Mario Teaches Typing 1 and 2 for Windows 95. Both aren't bad games, and I'm sure it was kind of fun as a game to learn how to type in the 90s with Mario and the gang. I think the first game is pretty boring, but the second is where it's at. There's more stuff to do, the graphics are better, there's actual cutscenes, which remind me of the Hotel Mario CDI stuff. They have those vibes, which is really charming and funny to watch. Not as funny, but still, they aren't the comedic masterpiece that is Hotel Mario, but still amusing. The game has this creepy looking castle with crazy eyes, and the door is the mouth. Pretty hilarious. The funniest part by far is how Mario and Luigi defeat him. They summon a giant typewriter that falls from the sky, then crushes him on the head and slams him down so hard that his eyeballs burst and go flying out of his head. That was hilarious. It's like a fever dream. It's only something you'd see in the 90s. That unintentional, charming 90s hilarity in an educational game. You gotta love it. And the game also features, for the first time, hearing Charles Martinet voice Mario with the floating head, which would also be seen in Mario 64. And Mario Teaches Typing 2 also came out in 1996. Mario acts very silly and over the top in this game, kinda acting like a bored person who got drunk at someone's house party. It's pretty fun to see. His head model looks way better in Mario 64. Here, the crevices around his eyes makes him look like he hasn't slept in days, but it's full of that early CGI 90s charm. So even though I think Sonic Schoolhouse is great and a better game with better graphics, Mario's games here are funnier and put a big smile on your face. So I'm calling this round a tie. I award Mario 8 points and Sonic 8 points.